University. In my vlog today, I will be exploring marketing myths and whether I agree or disagree with them. I will also be discussing market orientation. Most people think that marketing is just promoting a product and trying to get people to buy this. This is a very outdated review, and I believe it encompasses everything from the business to the customer. Marketing is defined by the American Marketing Association as creating, communicating, delivering and exchanging offerings that have value. The marketing philosophy sees marketing as not only a function but a way of doing business for the whole organisation. It is a responsibility of every employee. If a company abides to this philosophy, it is said to have adopted the marketing orientation. This means that most of the company's objectives are targeted towards marketing, and it puts the customer and marketing at the heart of its business decisions. Baines et al. Says that in order to develop a market orientation, you must also develop a customer, competitor, and interfunctional orientation. Doyle and Stern agree with this, and they state that the marketing orientation is part of the customer-led business or orientation. This means that you must understand the customers and the market you are targeting. You can do this by analysing the competitors through market research or using the PEST analysis. PEST analysis stands for political, economic, social and technological, and gives an insight into their customers, what challenges they may face and how they can overcome them. They continue this research after products have been developed. This increases brand loyalty, which is important because it's much cheaper to keep an existing customer than to acquire a new one. As well as this, a loyal customer can spread word of mouth, which is the strongest form of marketing. One example of where a brand has not put marketing at the heart and have not understood the customer is Fiat. In May of last year, Fiat wanted to sell to the Asian market, so they produced an advert featuring Richard Gere. He was driving to Tibet in the Lancia Delta. This caused an uproar online as Richard Gere is an avid supporter of the Dalai Lama and is hated by the Chinese government and the people. The people were promising to never buy Fiat again, and this could have been avoided had they done the research. A sales-orientated brand sells what they produce. They are not usually the best, but they can take a large market share, and they have high brand awareness. They believe that everyone is a potential customer and will use aggressive sales techniques to persuade them. It is often used in the financial or the automotive sectors. An example of this is unsought goods. These are goods that a customer does not actively seek out or think to buy. I'm sure we've all had a call offering us life insurance in case we've had an accident. Companies who do this are sales orientated, as they don't listen to surveys or think about the customer's satisfaction. Production-oriented companies mass produce products they believe in, the mantra stack 'em high and sell 'em cheap. They produce a high volume and have a low margin of risk. They don't have very much innovation or research and development, and they believe that customers will buy whatever they produce if it's at a fair price, and they focus on the volume of sales. Heinz is an example of this, as Heinz produce most tin products and condiments that you see on supermarket shelves today. With the number 1 and number 2 market share in over 50 countries, they keep their prices low and often sell in bulk packs. Another orientation is the product orientation. Apple is an example of this. They are a product-orientated company. They add to existing products in their portfolio and tailor them into new ones. They invest in innovation and research into new technology and products, and they use this to develop their products. Then they over-deliver. For example, from the iPhone 5S to the iPhone 6, when looking for a sleeker phone, they designed it to be even more beautiful and as sleek as possible. They also made it available in more colours. This made the customer become more loyal, as they will be excited and looking forward to the next version. They do, however, have some marketing activity, as they target early adopters and the niche markets. Now I will be exploring the marketing myths as outlined by Richardson and Kelly. I will be discussing whether or not I agree with the myths and giving examples to back up my decisions. The first myth I will be looking at is marketing is just advertising. I believe that this is false, as there are so many aspects to marketing, and advertising is just one of the weapons in a marketer's arsenal. I believe that a strong aspect of marketing is research into what the customer needs and relationships with the customers. and that these are vital in order to achieve success. An example of this is Zara. Everybody has heard of Zara. They are the world's leading fashion company, but have you ever seen an advert for them? No. This is because they don't even have an advertising budget. They spend their money on the beautiful storefronts and displays and the locations of their stores. They place them closer to more high-end stores so it can reflect the brand's ideas of being an affordable luxury. The next myth I will be looking at is a satisfied customer is a loyal customer. This is not true, as many customers are satisfied with the products and or services, but they will be moved to another competitor. This is often done in the mobile, phone and the banking industry, where companies will often give incentives to join them or to change from another supplier. For example, you may be completely satisfied with your bank, but another bank is offering you £250 just for you to change over to them. So you break your loyalty with your first bank and you move over in order for the extra benefits. The next myth I'll be looking at is a strong brand is invincible. Many people believe that a strong brand is invincible, and it's easy to think why they would believe this, especially throughout the past years where there's been large economic crisis and the credit crunch. Britain has seen the loss of many big brand high street names throughout this time, most recognisably being Woolworths, a business selling almost everything from garden equipment to shoes to toys at a cheap price. Woolworths was a massive brand with over 800 stores and was on our high streets for over 99 years before it went into administration in 2008, where it liquidated all stores in just 41 days. And this can be used to show us that big brands are in fact invincible. The next marketing myth I will be looking at is big brands sustain a high price. I can see why many people would believe this to be true, as some of the biggest brands in the world often have very high prices. For example, Apple phones are around £600, but this is not the case for all brands. Some brands try to offer high value instead of a high price. Some examples of this include Dell, McDonald's and EasyJet. EasyJet are a well-known big brand airline that offers a low budget price, with flights undercutting bigger brands by as much as half. They are very popular, and they sustain low prices in all aspects of their business. This can show that big brands can sustain a low price. The next myth I'm going to look at is that the customer is always king or queen. This myth means treating the customer like royalty, listening and doing whatever they say and treating them that they're always right. Many high-end businesses do treat the customer as the king or queen. For example, Laurel Nicholls is a high-end department store, and they have an employee whose job is to open the doors for people when they're coming into the shop. This is because they want to create an exceptional experience for their customers. This is so that they can justify the high price for their goods. However, just because the customer is at the heart of the business decisions does not make them the king or queen. In reality, there are more stakeholders that you need to take into account, for example, the employees. Rosenbluth and Peters, in their book The Customer Comes Second, says that when the company sides with the customers instead of the employees, it sends a clear message that the employees are not valued, that treating employees fairly is not important, and that the employees have no right to respect from customers. Obviously, this shows a bad message because you want to have the employees at the heart of your business, because if employees are against you, it's a very bad idea for your company. So I think this shows that the customer cannot always be king or queen. The final marketing myth I will be discussing today is that distribution channels do not influence marketing. I personally disagree with this, especially in marketing-oriented business. Everyone involved needs to accept the marketing philosophy, and they need to be involved with marketing. I think it can either influence the marketing in a negative or a positive way. For example, the placing of the object on the shelf strongly influences the purchasing. In a study of 65 cereals in 10 different grocery stores, Cornell researchers found that cereals marketed to kids are placed half as high on the shelves as adult cereals. The average height for a children's cereal box is 23 inches versus 48 inches for an adult cereal. Along with the cartoon packaging, this will attract the children specifically and is called Kids Eye View. They will see these packages and encourage their parents to put them in their trolley. On the other hand, it can go the other way. For example, I have personally stopped using a company due to poor distribution, as I was waiting over 2 weeks for my parcel to be delivered from boohoo.com. Although the parcel is being delivered through a separate distribution company, Hermes Couriers, it still affected my opinion on Boohoo, and therefore it's actually stopped me using boohoo.com in the future. In conclusion, I believe that the myths are myths for a reason, and they should not be followed. As well as this, I have thoroughly enjoyed making this vlog, and especially the independent research into the case studies from different brands and companies. I feel like I've developed a lot of skills through this vlog that will help me with my further studies and employment, from researching, referencing, presenting and video editing, which I'd never done previously.